Hi, it's me, Jacqueline. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to the channel, then please subscribe to my channel and join me at Patreon. Link in the description. Beth's bedroom was decorated mauve over blue, a white chair rail dividing the two. A bay window opened the middle of the back wall, the Venetian blinds louvers slanted down to block the sun and provide a glimpse of the gardens and pear trees beside the house. The doors to her walk-in closet and the master bath were to the right, an insulating air space on the exterior wall. Her four-poster queen-sized bed sat on the opposite wall, big enough to be comfortable for two to spoon or roll away to sleep, but rather too large for one alone. A pale pink oriental rug with silk inlays covered the space at the foot of the bed. A starburst patchwork quilt was folded neatly over the footrail. She stood before her French provincial vanity while she took off her jewelry, the triple-strand pearls that her mother had given her at her wedding, the pearl button earrings that always fascinated Sandy, her gold link bracelet, and the white sapphire cocktail ring she had bought with part of the proceeds from her engagement ring. She glanced at her watch with a gold mesh band curled in the pink Wedgwood dish. Plenty of time for a nap. If I set the alarm. A trip into the closet brought forth a hanger for her dress, a robe for comfort, and a loose yellow house dress for supper. Undoing the neck hook of her light blue, sleeveless, shirtwaist dress was a bit of a problem. A twist of the strings meant it took more than a simple push and lift. Beth sighed. Times like these, it would be nice to have a mail around the house. Or a personal maid. The hook undone, the three cloth-covered buttons slipped out of their eyes, allowing Beth to slip the dress. She eyed her silhouette in the mirror as she placed her dress on the hanger. The long line girdle was a bit snug, not exactly lumpy, but it indicated she should get in her laps in the pool more faithfully while the weather permitted. It was a matter of tone, not weight. Besides, she felt better after a few laps, even if she did have to be careful with her head so as not to ruin her hair. When she peeled off her girdle, she couldn't resist a turn in the mirror. Her breasts were firm, creamy, the nipples canted slightly upwards. There was no sag needing the knife, despite having nursed both her children for 3 months. Her belly was flat, if she sucked in just a tiny amount, her bottom taut, just wider than when she had been a bride. She would no be mistaken for sweet 16, but at 34 and having birthed 2 babies without a scar, she could hold her own at the club. Beth shrugged on her white terry robe, glancing at the bed, a few moments away from a welcome rest. One last glance at the mirror saw a centerfold pose, robe parted, tie hanging loose, round bosoms peeking out, nipples just hidden, a slit revealing her deep navel and a glimpse of her bush. The strands were flat from the pressure of silk and lycra, framed by the straps of her garters. Beth's dark red nails ran down, spreading and lifting the red-gold strands, so similar in shade to her hair. Beth smiled at the memory. Alex was a cheating bastard, but he did like to play with my muff. Good head and good in the sack. No complaint in the foreplay department. Beth shook her head, dismissing the thought and her need. I liked that I am a real strawberry blonde. Then he cheats on me with a bottle blonde floozy who can't even keep her roots from showing. Well, Alexandra will never cheat on his woman. Beth lapped her robe, snugged the tie. Men. She set the music alarm for half an hour, then slipped between cool sheets. She turned over her pillow, careful not to crush her French twist, pulled a large pillow to her. She wrapped her arms and legs around the soft mass, her chin resting on the top. Old dependable, but not very exciting. Beth closed her eyes, her body relaxing against the pillow and mattress. It had been a long day, a long week, a long month. She needed rest, and she imagined herself in the garden swing, engulfed in the fragrance of wisteria blossoms. Someday. Hi, honey. What's cooking? Your favorite, chicken and dumplings. The auburn-haired form at the stove barely glanced back. Arms encircled the trim waist of the shirtwaist dress, legs moving close among the voluminous skirt so hips met hips. You're my favorite dumpling. A nose moved over the stiff bouffant strands, snuggled in the full curve of the deep, shoulder-caressing flip. Behave, or I might burn dinner. Let it burn. I have a burning desire for you. Elizabeth. Be good. I wasn't I? Hands slid around the waist, somehow no longer not trim and tiny, molding the protruding bulge. Nothing says lovin' like a bun in the oven. Hush. The children will hear. Let em. What's wrong with their knowing I love my wife? A hand slipped under the skirt. Hot cross buns for dessert, honey buns? There was nothing impeding the finger sliding between warm cheeks. But it's the way you love me. The form turned, lips beside her ears. Tigress. Bare toes caressed an ankle. Keep you barefoot and pregnant? Arm slipped up, pulling close. And loving every wonderful moment. Spread me like hot butter, capture me, milk me until I explode. Now up and around and through. The paper flutters, lowers, the gaze crosses the room to the couch. Gleaming highlights bounce off the soft rolls of chestnut hair piled atop the head. A single thick lock hangs down over a tanned shoulder, the curled end resting softly on warm cleavage. Sandy looks on attentively, a blouse in his hand, watches the needle pushed through, pulled tight. Freddie sits on the other side, chin propped in her hand, watches the needle dart so close to ripe, full breasts. Now you. Every good wife must be able to mend to economize. That's why sewing is part of home EC. Freddie doesn't have to take home EC. It's not fair. Different roles, different rules. When you're a Coman with a home of your own, you'll need to run it well so your Dama's money can go for other things. Pleasant things, pretty things. Like diamonds. Like those pretty little diamonds Dama gave you for your ears. And things for your babies so you can take care of them and show how much you love them. Sandy's hand rubs the big belly beside him. Like for Mikey? The head bends close, nose rubbing nose. The light glimmers and bounces off the smooth, upswept hair, off the stacked, 2-inch barrel curls. Like for Michelle. Just like you'll have one day. Does it hurt making a baby? Not done with love, Alexandra. You'll love each other, and care for each other, and for the little ones who make your life complete. The head turns. And that goes for you too, Frederica. Be gentle and loving with your wife. A smile flashes. Lips form a kiss, blowing it across the room. Fingers clutch over the report, almost feeling the thick curls crush beneath them as they guide that mouth down toward the bush where those pink lips would play. Coaxing the honey flow until the moistness was ready to roll him over and capture the curl-thick private part stick. And he would come, softly, gently, and find comfort in closeness, snuggled like spoons together. Eyes flutter open. The room is dark except for the light from the clock and the soft glow of the nightlight. Movement on the edge of the dark draws the gaze to it, eyes struggling to focus. It is the rocker, rocking gently back and forth, an almost unheard squeak marking the shift from backwards to forwards. A form sits within, blanket covering the feet and lap, extending upwards. The edge is folded back. A cloud must have moved. Moonlight streams through the window, softly illuminating the form sitting beside it. A small head becomes visible, cheek nestled against the nurturing form, a little hand holding the soft, succulent roundness. Gradually a soft round mass swims into focus above, the familiar milk chocolate mass that usually lies on the next pillow, the soft pompadour of the Gibson girl that feels so warm against the thighs, so soft under clutching fingers. The moonlight backlit loose strands fly out, loose from the pillow, no time, no need to smooth them into place for the 3 o'clock feeding. How he knows it is time, how he awakes and finds the anxious form, picks it up, holds it close, comforts it, all the time preparing, undoing a tie, loosening a gown, bearing a breast heavy with milk for a hungry mouth. How he does this without awakening the slumberer beside him, without complaint, with merely a tired smile at breakfast, cooing alternately at baby Michelle and his Dama, is a mystery. Or rather, a distant memory of being a nursing mother. An elbow presses against the mattress, the head rises, drinking in the sight of mother and child, wife and child, lover and child. How precious, how fleeting. The shadowed head lifts, a smile in the darkness. Go to sleep, my lady, my mistress. Our baby sleeps, and so should you. I will be with you soon. The arm relaxes, the head sinks, the eyes close. A mother nurses her child and all's right with the world. The room is full. Music fills the room, bouncing off walls, high notes muffled by the bodies that laugh, move, sway to the music. Waiters circle through the crowd bearing trays of appetizers, collecting empty glasses, proffering napkins. To some, safely away from spousal eyes, they are another tasty dish. They're short, black skirts lifted out by layers of crisp white petticoats, frilly white aprons encircling trim waists, cleavage cracks displayed under lace-trimmed square yokes, slender arms emerging from short puff sleeves. The waiters kept smiling even as roaming hands sampled their ample wares. They know the guests know the rule is simple. Look freely, caress gently, but no pinching, no pawing, no grabbing, no flipping up skirts or demasting panties. Masked bodies part and fill as people move through the crowd. Food, drink, the relieving of the same, conversation, and even a little dancing on the too small parquet is the order of the evening. It is fun, it is social, it is in deadly earnest of contacts made, plans broached, competitors watched. Each woman there is expected to drink and be sociable. Getting drunk and losing your tongue would lose contracts. Each wife or escort is part of the package, dressed, coiffed, expertly made up, bejeweled, all to tempt contacts and competitors while making a statement as to how desirable their successful dama must be. The crowd parts for a tall blonde backing through the mass, his hair swept up in a French roll under a mass of barrel curls, loose tendrils sweeping kiss points at his nape and ears. The gold-beaded sheath shimmers in the light, undulates with every move. The hem sweeps the toes of gold satin shoes, the 3-inch heels adding to the stack of hair piled behind the tiara. Tonight, his eyes would be on the level, breasts pressing together if there was time before the party ended for a slow dance together. And there would be time, so everyone could see he was hers. The blonde turns, bends to greet other wives, acknowledges their damas. They gather together, as common are wont to do, drinks in hand, laughing, comparing notes. Anyone who isn't there is fair game, but mostly they talk of clothes and children and who has found a new babysitter or who is giving what party. But they hardly ever talk of how long their damas work and how lonely they sometimes feel when, at the right time of the month, what they really want is to be held and petted and made to feel, well, wonderful. Or how when they have a brand new hairdo and a new dress and have added a touch of perfume with the children early off to bed, she hardly notices when you are so ready for her to advance and capture you. When the band strikes up, man, I feel like a woman. There are quick looks around, a joint shrug, a beeline for the dance floor. It is early in the evening and damas are still circulating, but the ladies can enjoy themselves while showing off what they got. On the floor, for come-in became girls once again, arm in arm, drinks disposed of while they passed arms around their waists and found the rhythm. Heads throw back, curls waver and bobble, light shimmers form jeweled ears and throats. The common form the supporting hold of the kick line perfected in drill teams, pageants, and proms. Just because their hair is up, they wear long gloves for style and warmth, and their figures are fuller from loving and bearing and nursing babies. The juices still flow in ways the waiters would not understand for years. The blonde wiggles in time, raises a knee, once, twice, kicks higher, shifts, repeats. Laughter spills over the crowd that has stopped, gathered round, claps as the foursome bob, kick, circle in place, assets jiggling despite the constraints of girdles and merry widows. When the chorus hits, they all begin to wail. Men's shirts, short skirts. Oh. Really go wild. Yeah, do it in style. A hand touches an elbow, lips breathe warmth on an ear. He's a keeper, Beth. Don't ever let that one get away. Even if he does wear pants sometimes. Vicky's smooth chestnut upswept head smiles. After all, it must be so much fun stripping them off and reminding him who really wears the pants and who wears the lacy panties. Now that's doing it in style. The four come in kick and turn, faces turned away. The pearl choker around the blonde's throat is unique. That's my girl. Mine to have and to hold, capture and milk. Mine alone a real keeper. Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access.